So this is my video on 12.3 energy balance and on energy intake and energy expenditure. So there are 4 ways that can affect your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. So the climate, if it's a hotter environment, your BMR will be higher as you are using a lot more energy to keep your body temperature, your core body temperature at the correct level, using more energy through sweating and other ways of keeping you cool. And the same with if you're in a really cold environment, your body is going to be working a lot harder to keep your core body temperature up, and they're making your muscles contract a lot more and your heart beat faster, therefore using more energy. With age, so when you're younger, your BMR is going to be a lot higher because you're growing and you're using a lot more energy through getting to the point of adolescence and making sure your body's growing and developing the correct way, so your BMR is going to be quite high. But when you're older, your body starts to slow down, you stop growing, and your BMR drops, so you're using a lot less energy, and therefore the more you intake, the lower your BMR is going to be. Gender, so males' BMR tends to be higher than females as they are naturally bigger. Males are more broader, their body size is bigger, making them use more energy for when they are doing sport or anything. And for females, as they have a smaller body size, their BMR is going to be lower, but through different times their BMR may increase. For example, through pregnancy, they're going to be using a lot more energy, and as they have to feed themselves and the baby inside them. And during physical activity, the more physical activity you do, the higher your BMR is going to be, as you're using energy through muscle contraction and muscle development. But if you're a more sedentary person, your BMR is going to be a lot lower, as if your lifestyle is and you're an office worker, you're very sedentary, and your BMR is going to decrease. So what is energy and how it's measured? So energy is needed for growth, keeping you warm, and therefore just keeping you alive in general. So the energy we intake supports our basal metabolic rate, as for our BMR, and the energy is measured in joules and calories. So 1 kilocalorie is 1,000 calories, as 1 calorie is just such a small amount we don't use it as a measurement. And the same as 1 kilojoule is 1,000 joules, which is used more internationally, but in the UK we use calories. So for every 1 gram of carbohydrate we intake, it supplies us with 4 kilocalories, so 4,000 calories. And 1 gram of fat supplies us with 9,000 kilocalories, which is 9 kilocalories and 9,000 calories. And 1 gram of protein supplies us with 4 kilocalories, which is 4,000 calories. So as we can see, the fat supplies us with the best source of energy, but it's not the healthiest for us. So your basal metabolic rate and other factors that affect it. So the amount of energy required, the basal metabolic rate is the amount of energy required to sustain your body's vital functions in a waking state. So the extra energy used for activities done in the day, such as work or leisure, this is the energy we need. So your BMR is calculated through 65.5 plus 13.75 times your body weight in kilograms, plus 0.003 times height in centimeters, minus 6.75 times age in years. So this will calculate your BMR for you. And as we can see down here, there's activities in the bottom right corner. There's different activities do use a lot more energy. So for example, ironing only uses 69 kilocalories. That's just through standing and using an iron to do your clothes and stuff. Whereas swimming, for example, at a slower speed, using more energy at a higher intensity, it uses 193 kilocalories, which is a lot more as more strenuous exercise. So your metabolism, your basal metabolism is calculated through males and females. It's different. For males, it will be your age between 3 and 10, 10 and 18, 18 and 30, doing 22.706, for example, if you're 3 to 10, times your weight in kilograms, plus 504.3. So these are just some examples, and this will help you calculate your basal metabolism. So your body weight and energy. The higher your body weight, the more energy you will need, as you're needed to intake a lot more energy, as you've got a lot more weight to carry on you. So how much energy to calculate how much energy you need throughout the day, you would to work out your work and your force. So your force is calculated through your kilograms and body weight times 10, and this is put into an equation to work out your work levels needed, and that is in a sport. So distance moved in meters and force, which we calculated there. So for example, Andy Murray runs in a match in his final at Wimbledon runs 2,367.9 meters. So to work out the force, you need to do his weight in kilograms times 83, which is 83 times 10, which works out to 830. And then you do 830 times the meters he ran, which is 2,367. So this equates to 1,964,610 joules, and then you divide that by 10, which comes to 1,964 kilojoules, which is a lot of energy he's needed just to go through that match. So the difference between energy expenditure and energy intake. So your energy expenditure is the amount of energy you use in an activity, and energy intake is the amount of energy you take in through nutrients and your food. So if you want to gain weight, your energy intake, which is going to be your food, is going to be larger than your energy expenditure. And with weight loss, your energy expenditure is going to be larger than your energy intake. And if you want to maintain your weight, your energy intake and energy expenditure is going to be balanced. So ways to work out your body fat percentage. So this is called calorimetry. So energy expenditure can be measured by heat reduction. So there's two types of this: direct calorimetry and indirect. So direct is measured by the actual amount of heat produced by the body when exercising. You have an athlete work in an airtight chamber as known as a human calorimeter. The copper coils in the roof have water in them with a certain temperature in them. The athlete has an oxygen mask so he can breathe in the chamber, as shown in the bottom right corner. The water temperature heats up and gets measured at the end of the tubes, and then they work out your energy expenditure there. So this is done through many equations that scientists use, and it helps you calculate your energy expenditure. And the other way is indirect. So this is used in a less scientific way, But as we can see in the top right hand corner, a runner will be on the treadmill, and they measure your body heat, and they have a mask on you, and they are measuring your output in CO2, and they help the mask you to breathe. And you'll run on this for a certain period of time until you run out of energy, and then through that they'll work out your energy expenditure. So your METs. This is your metabolic equivalent task. METs can be worked out through your METs, which I'll explain shortly, through 3.5 times 5, and then you divide that in 3.5 times your weight in kilograms, and you divide that by 20, and then you work out your activity in minutes throughout the whole day. So for my example, you use oxygen consumption per unit of body weight per minute to estimate exercise intensity, and as oxygen consumption is directly proportional to the energy expenditure during exercise. So for a normal day for me, I will be walking, which is 2 METs, times 3.5 times 67, which comes to 469. 469 divided by 200 is 2.3, and 2.3 times 360 is 828. So throughout the day I also do, you calculate sitting, which is 1 MET, tennis, which is 8 METs, and then you add these all together to work out your total METs throughout the day. So you do 828, 211.05 plus 562.8 comes 1601.85. So this is how much I would need throughout the whole day. So 3 ways to measure body fat. There's the skin fold measurement, the bioelectrical impulse impedance analysis, or the BIA, or the hydrostatic weighing. The skin fold calipers are used to measure body fat below the skin from selected sites on the body. This is measured in millimeters. The sum of the measurements is used to calculate the percentage of body fat you have taken into account age and gender. The pros of this is that it's cheap and can be done anywhere. The cons are that you need a professional to do it properly, which it requires a lot of high skilled tasks to do. So the BIA. This measures body composition by sending low frequency impulses through your body. The current passes through the fluids and muscle tissue, but doesn't when hitting fat. This is the bioelectrical impedance. You set your height and weight into the device, and it will calculate the rest for you. So the pros are it's very accurate when you are hydrated, as it needs fluids to pass through. The cons are it uses averages to determine your body fat, which wouldn't be good for athletes wanting the accurate reading. So for hydrostatic weighing, this is when an individual is weighed in a water tank, which is completely submerged in it. The difference between athletes in and out of the water is their fat mass percentage. The density of the water and the trapped air in the lungs are taken into account too. Fat is less dense and floats in water, so the more fat the athlete has, the greater the difference between dry and wet weight. The pros are that it is very accurate, and the cons are that it's very expensive and not available for everyone to do. So this has been my video on 12.3 energy expenditure and intake.